The Android tablet market is a really strange place, as there's tons of cheap options out there, but few truly high-end models for you to choose from. The Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra is currently the biggest and arguably the best, but is it still worth its high asking price? Well, I've spent an extended period with this tablet to find out. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra isn't like many tablets you've probably ever tried before, and the key selling point, and arguably a reason you might actually avoid this altogether, is that frankly gargantuan 14.6-inch AMOLED display. It dwarfs most laptops that I've ever tried, and at times that is a hindrance as well as a blessing. The initial awe factor is undeniable. Having watched movies, it feels like having a private cinema immersing you in worlds crafted for the big screen. Multitasking also takes on a new meaning. Juggling apps, games and social media chats simultaneously becomes a seamless, almost desktop-like experience. Almost, that is. It's not for everyone, and I think that's okay. It's for those of us who do not want an iPad. We want a true blue Android tablet, and that is what Samsung has made here, for better or worse. I also have to say, I don't think this is an iPad killer. It's a very different product in a lot of ways. You need to ask yourself as well, if the portability hit is going to be worth it for you. Forget casual one-handed browsing. This isn't a device for traveling, in my opinion, unless you enjoy unintentionally giving fellow passengers shoulder massages. Ergonomically, it's not the easiest slab to manage as a result of that. Long reading or video viewing sessions, when you're holding this, can leave your arms begging for mercy. It is deceptively heavy, even though it has a really thin frame. Thankfully, Samsung's book cover keyboard transforms the Ultra into a more manageable beast, but that adds another layer of bulk and cost, and it begs the question, is it worth just biting the bullet and buying a laptop at this $1,000 price? I guess if you did, you'd miss out on optimized touchscreen and Play Store access alongside an IP68 rating, something that isn't found on many tablets out there. So the Tab S9 Ultra can be used in way more places, like if you want to watch some movies in the bath, or sit in the rain and use it without worrying about water damage on the screen and the rest of the device. Once you overcome the initial awe of its proportions, the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra's display truly does shine. It's an exceptional AMOLED screen, but I do think it's best suited to the natural calibration profile. I actually find the out-of-the-box tuning a little bit too eye-searing, more so than a smartphone. It still looks tact sharp though and flows perfectly with that 120Hz peak refresh rate. I think if your sole use case is content consumption, then this is the best tablet for that pastime period if you can deal with the size. HDR content explodes with life, and watching Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime Video and way more other services like that on this big screen is a pure indulgence. It's absolute chocolate for your eyes with incredible viewing angles and really solid in-display fingerprint scanner to boot. It's something that is also missing from a lot of tablets out there. One UI has some really neat touches and flourishes to make that screen a lot more manageable as well, like the notification shade appearing where you actually swipe down on that top bar, or the side panel feature which has been drafted over from Note devices, helping get you into split screen mode more easily. I wish though there were more layout options for the home screen, as it still looks and acts like a big phone. You can alleviate this with custom launchers, but some extra out-of-the-box options probably wouldn't hurt. I do love how bright this screen gets, but to nitpick a little here, sunlight visibility could be a tiny bit better, especially at such a large scale. The glossy screen is so actually large that it has a larger surface area to reflect light and glare, but that's a small price to pay for such visual grandeur, I must admit. It's still worth noting it if you are looking at this tablet. It's not all sunshine and rainbows here though, as the notch housing that dual front-facing camera system, while unobtrusive for most content, can be a minor distraction during movies or games, which is a trade-off for those sleek bezels. It's in a good position though for video calls, as you can still use the landscape layout of apps and any kickstand cases. I haven't used any of the rear cameras at any point, but they seem okay for calls and maybe scanning documents, but for anything else I'd say forget about it and just use your phone anyway. If you're wondering about the speakers, these are excellent, and I was fairly surprised, as I guess like the iPad, the svelte frame belies the sound that is actually pushed out of these, and it's all part of that premium package with no of those stones unturned, as I mentioned. Another one of the biggest selling points for the Tab S9 Ultra is its unbridled power that it will offer you. Samsung didn't actually skimp on the brains department or the processor department. The Tab S9 Ultra is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, last year's crown jewel of mobile processors. It's also paired with generous RAM options and, more importantly for some of you out there who are data hoarders, micro SD card expansion if you do want lots of storage for your files. The result? Overall, this thing flies. Literally every application runs flawlessly, but might not scale as well as you would want, but that's an Android problem rather than a Tab S9 Ultra problem. Multitasking is super easy with split screen and triple screen layouts, and picture-in-picture windows handling even the most resource-hungry tasks with aplomb. I didn't notice any major increases in heat when doing this, or when doing lots of things simultaneously, but I put that down to the metal frame, which does dissipate heat fairly quickly, and that extra size of the chassis itself. Sadly though, there are not too many demanding applications that I can personally utilize on a day-to-day basis that would push this tablet to its limits. Even LumaFusion, which is a video editing software, runs absolutely flawlessly, but nothing else that I would ordinarily use on the Play Store can take a modern smartphone or even make a modern tablet break a sweat. So I didn't expect that to change here either. I really do like that Samsung bundles in the S Pen at no extra cost, and I can't say that I personally use it to its fullest potential, but it is great for sketching and quickly noting things down on this panel, which is all it needs to do for me anyway. I think it's perfect not just for artists and note takers, but anyone who actually wants more precise and a more intuitive way to interact with a touchscreen tablet interface like this. And I find myself using it for navigation a lot, as you can actually write into text boxes and your handwriting will be converted into on-screen text. Plus on top of that, it's nice to casually sketch things out and note things down when I need to. Samsung has clearly refined the S Pen experience, making it a valuable tool for both work and play, regardless of your creative pedigree, that's for sure. I feel like you should instantly disable though the haptics of the Tab S9 series. I was super excited about haptics on a tablet, as I've not extensively tried this previously, but I don't know what Samsung has done to make it feel so cheap and so hollow that it actually mimics a cheap $100 smartphone. It's just not a nice experience, so I definitely suggest turning those off if you do not like them as well. Dex Mode, Samsung's desktop interface, is a fascinating attempt to me to blur the lines between tablet and laptop. It transforms the Tab S9 Ultra into what is a surprisingly capable productivity machine, allowing you to connect a keyboard and mouse and launch into traditional style desktop applications. While it won't ever replace or fully replace a computer for everything just yet, it's a compelling option for lighter tasks like document editing, web browsing, and maybe as a way to dual use this device if you do want to plug it into an external screen or use a keyboard and accessory. App compatibility when using Dex can be a little bit inconsistent, and some programs refuse to cooperate with what is a touch optimized interface. I also can't believe I'm going to say this, but multitasking within Dex mode can feel significantly clunkier than the native Android experience thanks to those One UI tweaks. But here's the thing, the potential is undeniable with Dex. If you like the option of a dual purpose device and dual purpose usage, this is something that I don't even think Stage Manager can handle or compete with on the iPad, and having such a beautiful screen that you can stuff in a bag is a lot more fun here too. My only trepidation in recommending to regular folk is the asking price. Tech nerds, I think you'll love this thing, as I have. The battery is really, really good. It exceeds most of my other tech and lasts multiple days from 100% to hitting that 20% figure below before I'm actually reaching for a charger. And while it does take a while to charge, even with that 45 watt wired charging capability to get up to full capacity, it's still an excellent device for long days and even multiple days of use. I think for me, it's a centerpiece portable Android display, and because it's much larger than a phone screen by quite a margin, that makes it feel more like a device that doesn't attempt to straddle form factors. And I personally think that has always been a problem to me with tablets, at least as I say in my own mind. Samsung has really made a massive tablet and it's perfect for its target market. Just whether you're in that group is tougher to decipher, but the $900 plus asking price might help you make that decision a little bit easier. I think for most people, the Galaxy Tab S9 FE is probably going to be the best tablet for the price, with just enough to do exactly what you need from a companion tablet. But the Tab S9 Ultra is for the true blue Android fan who wants under the hood power that you can't get anywhere else. Let me know what you think of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra, and in fact the Tab S9 range, down in the comment sections below. I've really enjoyed my time with it, but until next time, I will speak to you in the next one.